Welcome to Currently Inked for June 15th, 2016. This episode of Currently Inked is sponsored by Van Ness Pens at vanness1938.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the newest episode of Currently Inked. You'll notice I'm in a slightly different space than I normally am. This is my studio control room. My video studio is across the wall right there, and it's a train wreck at the moment. I've completely disassembled it because it hasn't been cleaned since September when I started season 3, and I'm rearranging things. I'm mounting a bunch of stuff on the ceiling to make sure that I don't trip over it and knock over my lights and cameras anymore. So that's why I'm in here and probably will be for a little while to come. I am very excited to welcome today's guest on Currently Inked. Today's guest is Mike Madison of the Inkdependence blog. So, Mike, welcome to an episode of Currently Inked.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about your blog and kind of how you got started with the whole pen and ink thing, and why the focus on ink and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm a pen and ink guy from way back. I have I don't know if you're familiar with IKEA hardware, but there's these things called a Helmer. It's, I don't know, 3 feet tall with drawers. It's just packed with non-fountain pens that I've had for, a long time. If it's a pen, I've probably got at least one of them. So I've been, into that for a long time. My mom got me into fountain pens when I was pretty young. And then I started actually using fountain pens probably around college-ish. So, I don't know, longer ago than I want to think about sometimes. But I've been using those for a while. And then the blog actually came about because my wife and I lived apart for a year or so before she moved out here to the Greensboro, North Carolina area. And so she got bored and she started her own blog. She blogs about nail polish at writeonthenail.com.
Nice.
A little plug for her there. And she said, you probably ought to start blogging about something. It's a good way to spend some time. And at the time, I was playing a lot of WoW. So I'm like, I don't know. It seems like I can just play WoW instead. But I decided to start blogging, and that was about 5 years ago now. So
Cool.
I really started with ink because it was right about the same time that ink samples became a big thing, or at least a thing that you could get a hold of pretty easily. There was only, I don't know, 1, maybe 2 vendors that were doing ink samples back then. And so I started doing ink because I didn't have very many pens. And so that would have been a very short set of reviews.
Well, so you might be one of the few people out there who can put my collection to complete and utter shame. So what are we looking at bottle wise here?
Oh, bottles, I don't know. I've probably got 150, 175.
Oh, okay.
But,
so we're about the same, about at the same spot then.
Yeah, and then another several hundred samples. I know. So I've been started to catalog my ink samples and bottles and stuff. I got these little these Moramon cards. A lot of people use these guys, and so I got a few hundred of those. What's that?
Didn't they stop making those just recently?
I don't know if they stopped making them, but they are difficult to get a hold of. I used to get them from Jet Pens, and then they sort of went away. Well, not Jet Pens, but the word cards. And then I guess Goulet picked up the line, but then they stopped having word cards. So, I don't know. They may have stopped making them altogether.
I think I remember hearing somewhere that they've actually stopped making them, which is unfortunate because I know a lot of people use them. So,
yeah, when I had heard the same rumor, and so when I heard that, I went out and got several hundred of them.
Nice.
I mean, they're not particularly expensive. It's like $3 a booklet of hundreds, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, so you're all stocked up.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, so for those not familiar with the Currently Inked thing, basically this is just a real casual pen talk. We'll talk about what we have inked at the moment, and what we are, with what inks, and kind of just general new things in the pen community, that sort of thing. So, before we dive in, Mike, anything in particular that you're excited about or just got, or, what's kind of floating your boat in the ink world these days?
So we just had the Triangle Pen Show here in Raleigh last weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess last weekend. And it was pretty awesome. So I do have some new things. Chief among those is, did you meet? You've been to D.C. at least, right?
I've been to D.C.
We met there
and
last
LA.
year,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Ryan Krusak?
Yeah, I talked with him a bit in LA as well when I was there in February. So yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. So I finally got a Ryan Krusak pen.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing
Just
pictures of that floating around.
yeah. I really like this. I kept walking by his table because I go and chat with he and Chef
Brandon.
Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me turn this. No, I can't turn that off. Hopefully, my email won't make too many dinging noises. But I kept seeing this pen on the stand, and I had to. I don't know. I got tired of seeing it there, so I had to take it home. But it doesn't actually have a name. People have asked me what the name of this pen is, and it just doesn't have one.
Yeah.
He always names his stuff after types of poetry or types of music, I think, and he just doesn't have a name for this variety yet. But it's kind of a big hourglass shaped pen made of
Mm-hmm.
cocobolo wood. It's got kind of a well, my lighting in here is kind of terrible, so probably just looks dark. But you'll have to trust me; it is a beautiful sort of tawny brown.
Yeah. What do you have it inked with at the moment, or do you?
I do. I can't resist inking pens. I actually got a box full of pens today from somebody, and I have inked every one of them.
Oh,
So
nice.
I can't. Here's a. So we won't talk about all the things I have currently inked because it's kind
Mhm.
of this many things.
Yeah.
It's I don't know 40 something ish.
Yeah.
But
This
yeah,
is
that's
this
inked
is
with.
my currently inked list at the moment, or my
No, that's
pens at the
cute.
moment. So, and which I keep dropping these expensive pens on my desk. That's a great thing. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
go on.
Yeah, it's got cross violet in it right now,
Oh.
which is actually really good. I got these samples from the Andersons, and I was not. I wasn't expecting much out of cross inks because they've only had blue and black in the past, and they're fine. They're serviceable, perfectly good inks, but not super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But this new batch is really good. I've used the blue and the purple, and I've got the red in a pen right now too. But the violet is like a bright violet, so
That's
got that in
interesting.
there. Right's great.
Yeah, I'm not terribly familiar with the crossings. In fact, I don't think I've ever tried one. They're just not common in most retailers these days. You can find them every now and again in like a Staples or something like that,
Yeah.
but they're not too common. Well, I'll let's see. So this is one of my pens at the moment that I've got inked. This is a Schaefer Legacy, and
Yeah.
it's there have been a lot of Schaefers around where people have gone in and taken the barrel and replaced it with one they've made on their own. But this is actually, according to the guy I bought it from, a color prototype. I got this in LA, and it's this was actually done by Schaefer. That's their jade acrylic. They were just drawing the prototypes, and it's got one of those lovely, inlaid or
Oh yeah.
overlaid nibs, but it's got a factory oblique on it, oblique italic, which is really, really, it's a lovely nib. And I've got that inked up right now with, I think I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this with the lighting in here. Other way, Matt. Other way. Here we go. It's in reverse. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
The dandyism, Sailor Bungbox dandyism. It's that green black color. I've been lately just going nuts over the Sailor inks. They've just been knocking it out of the park over and over and over again for me. So I'm a big fan of that. Well, what's another one on your list?
See if I've got that violet here. Actually, see if this is
okay.
seeable.
Oh wait,
right there. That's the cross violet. And yeah, this is. I downloaded the pattern for your
nice.
your current ink thing. It didn't come out super well, if I'm honest. But I was using the copier printer thing at work.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go well, but nonetheless, pretty serviceable. So.
Yeah, I've been playing around with that too. Where I've said this before, but I'm actually meeting with my my designer on Wednesday to finish up the next batch, which should be nicer, slightly nicer quality. Much more highly designed. So I'm looking forward to getting those out and ready to go here pretty soon. But
yeah,
cool. What else have you got
well,
going
since you
on?
showed a Schaefer, I got this little Schaefer at the pen show.
Was that the
kind
dolphin nose stub?
What's that? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a fun little dolphin nose stub. I really like that one.
It's cool.
It's got turquoise. It only takes cartridges, and I only had turquoise cartridges around.
Yeah,
but,
the Schaefer cartridges are getting harder and harder to find, aren't they?
Are they? I hadn't heard that. I hope not.
I don't know. Are they still in production?
As far as I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't use a lot of Schaefer products. I've just not had a lot of experience with them. So,
yeah.
This Schaefer came with an aerometric converter, um, so it's
Yeah.
nothing too spectacular, but it kind of is what it is. Well, let's see. What's another fun one? I just inked up. I just got back from Utah. I went down there for a cousin's wedding, and one of my cousins-in-law, I infected with the fountain pen virus,
Good job.
and then he infected his two sons, who are I think 6 and 10 or something like that. And so when they found out I was coming, he was like, "I want you to bring all your pens. Bring all of them. I want to see all of them," because he hasn't seen me for a few years. So I ended up inking up a bunch of pens and bringing them down with me. And most of the ones I have inked are inked because of that trip. But this is my beloved. Oh, got some Luke the dog hair there. Some beloved my beloved Wall Eversharp Deco Band. Nice chunky gigantic pen there with that
Yeah.
massive super flex nib on it. I don't know how well you
Yep.
can see that, but
And
that's
an awesome red feed too.
yeah, the red feed,
Oh, flaking off,
it's
huh?
the urushi on the feed is starting to flake off, and that's a little unfortunate, but I'm not real sure that urushi does much of anything anyway, so it was a little disappointing. But it still writes really, really good. And I find because it is so big, my handwriting looks really good because it forces me to use my whole arm to write instead of my fingers. And so this is one of those pens that actually makes my handwriting look better because of the way it forces me to write. So I like that one a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So before we dive into the next set of pens, why don't you talk a little bit about kind of what you got going on with Inkdependence, what's going to be coming up here in the not too distant future, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so stuff coming up in the not too distant future. I've got those crossings that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Those are currently I'm going to write those up probably this week. This week is a little weird. I teach online courses during the summer, so I've got one course ending and another beginning back to back. So this week is going to be a little rough, but I'll get through it, I think. So I've got those coming up, and I just got a slew of new pens. So I'm probably going to have to do some pen reviews here pretty
Oh,
soon.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
And I've got
nice.
my wife and I are actually going to do a series with the Diamine Shimmertastic inks, which I've started using, and they're surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting all that much out of them, but
Yeah,
I do like them a lot.
you know, glitter inks, not generally my thing.
Yeah,
But I've got 3. I had 4, but I gave a bottle away. I never even got to ink it up. I just I basically took it with me and to home for Christmas and said, pick an ink you like, and that was the one that went. So I never even got a chance to ink it up. But I've got
yeah,
the Brandy Dazzle, which is kind of
yep,
that reddish brown with the gold. I've got the turquoise with the silver. I think that's, what is that called? The Blue Lightning or something like that. And then
yep,
the purple pizzazz, which is the purple with the gold sparkles. And all 3 of them behave just as well as any other diamine ink. And I had it in my as a demonstrator for almost 2 months in my Franklin Christoph antique glass number model 66, and it cleaned right out. No issues. I just ran some water through it, didn't leave any residual glitter behind. It was really quite a nice ink. I was impressed.
yeah. I've actually got those two in pens. I have it in the Brandy Dazzle in this kind of nice orange Kara's Customs, and it matches
Mm.
pretty well. And yeah, I've been using those quite a bit. There was a
Oh.
guy on Instagram who had it in a Twisby Eco, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Then, oh man, you're going to be getting glitter out of that thing forever because you can't really rinse it out. You don't take it apart at all.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh no, you might be right." And about an hour later, he posted another picture and said, "Yeah, I just flushed it out with water a couple of times. It's perfectly clean."
Yeah. So
So
they
yeah,
seem to have fixed whatever problems J. Urban was having with their some of their inks, and
yeah.
so yeah. Speaking of, have you seen the brown ink, the new brown
I've
glitter
seen the
ink?
pictures that Aziza posted, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't actually gotten the ink yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's out yet, but or at least not in the U.S. anyway. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure how well that one's going to do. I don't think it's going to go as crazy as Emerald of Chivor did.
it's hard to say. I mean,
Yeah.
people got really psyched about that green,
Mm-hmm.
but
I still like Emerald of Chivor, but it's like I'll probably buy a bottle, but I'm not sure I'm going to go like I don't need to be among the early adopters on that one. I love Brownings. I've got a lot of them, but I think that's one I can wait a little while for. So,
I just got Emerald Sword today.
oh, nice.
It's
First time using
right
it?
here, actually. Well, I got a sample of it real early, actually, and then I used it. I didn't really care for it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the pen I was using it in was kind of junk.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna try it again, another pen.
Yeah.
But
It
yeah,
certainly does like a wet pen, that's for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, before we go on to our next pen, I do want to just take a moment to talk about the sponsor for this video, Van Ness Pens. So once upon a time, there used to be pen stores kind of in every decent sized city in the world. If you wanted a great writing instrument or to pick up some new ink, you'd go to your local store. There you'd try to find a knowledgeable staff, a selection of pens that you could actually try out, or someone who could help you with making a repair there in the shop. There aren't a lot of those kind of pen stores around anymore, but Van Ness Pens is still going strong. They have been in business since 1938, and they are a family-owned store staffed by the kind of knowledgeable, service-oriented people you only find from generations of experience. In addition to their selection of high-quality pens, Van Ness is a place to go if you want to find a really wide selection of ink. They go out of their way to find what's new and unusual and exciting in the ink world and bring it to their customers. They were among the first retailers to import inks from P.W. Ackerman in the Netherlands, and they retail brands like KWZ, Califolio, and many more. And being a small family-run business, they love working with pen makers too, and so they've started carrying newer brands like Keras Customs and Tactile Turn. So if you're looking for the kind of knowledgeable service and care that you used to be able to find in your local pen stores of years gone by, look no further than Van Ness Pens. You can find them on the web at vanness1938.com. That's VANNESS 1938.com. And of course, don't forget to thank them for supporting the pen habit. So, speaking of Van Ness pens, Mike, did you happen to see the image that Lisa posted on Instagram about the new shipment of Organics Studios inks that she just got in? Apparently, he's back in production again.
He is. Yeah, yeah. I was talking to I was talking to the Andersons about
Oh
that as
yeah.
well. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna be sending you about 16 inks. I said, man, he's coming back with 16. That's he must have really started making ink as soon as he got out of class or
Yeah,
something.
no
Because
kidding. So is he just? Have you heard? Is he doing just a big batch of? What is? I'm trying to remember. Is his name Joel? I can't remember.
Tyler.
Tyler. That's
Yeah.
right. I couldn't remember. So is he's just going to do a big batch over the summer break and hopefully
Well,
that'll
I
last
think he's
inventory, or
actually
is he?
finished.
Oh,
It's
okay.
only been a couple of years, so he must have been doing a master's, I suppose. But he said he finished, so I
Good for
guess he's
him.
kind of going to go back to this maybe as
Mm-hmm.
a full time gig, and
Nice.
hope
Well, I'm glad the Andersons are carrying his inks too. I love to see people, supporting these new, these smaller organizations. And I've not had a chance to use a lot of the Organic Studios inks, but I'm excited for the opportunity. Especially, he's got a turquoise. Is it the copper? I think.
cobalt. Hmm,
Yeah, I don't remember. But
yeah,
there's
I don't
one
know.
in there I want to try, because it looks pretty good. So. All right. So what's next on your inked list at the moment?
Yeah, well, let's go with this one because I just got it today. There's a fellow who follows my blog and the YouTube channel and all that sort of thing. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be getting rid of some pens to make room for other pens, and so he sent me 4 pens today, and all of them are awesome and things I don't have. And one of them is this, which
Oh
is
my gosh.
but yeah, right. Pelikan M800
Nice.
in blue with the gold accents. It's a fine nib,
Mm-hmm.
and the nib is great. I haven't had a Pelikan, and that's because I really kind of need the M800 size to be able to write decently with them.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the price scales with the size, so I
Yeah.
hadn't gotten any.
It,
But man, this is a nice pen. So yeah, I just got this in the mail today, and as I said, I can't resist inking up pens. So it
yeah.
got inked. Well, I rinsed it out and then immediately inked it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I kicked all my animals out. It's fine.
The dog is barking. There's not a whole lot. Luke, come here. We'll bring him up on screen. Luke, come here. Hop up. Hop up. Come here. Come on. Hop up. Come on. Sorry, this makes for good watching, doesn't it? Hop up.
Oh yeah, no, people love pets. Yeah, yeah. Scraggles ends up in a lot of just lift him over the face.
So yeah,
Hey Luke, what's up?
someone must have knocked on the door or something, because he never barks except for when he wants to sing the song of his people. So,
Uh huh.
and I have never gotten to meet Scraggles, so I hope that changes at some point. I've seen photos, but I've never had a chance to meet Scraggles. So
Yeah, I don't know if I mean she'll be in DC for the DC show, but
mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be a very good idea to bring her to the show.
Not down to the floor.
That is too hectic.
So
Uh,
you are going to be at DC then?
yeah, yeah,
Well, that'll be
I'll be
fun.
around DC. I think I'll be there the whole weekend
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Are
My
you going to
wife
be
is helping out
working?
at the Franklin Christoph
Oh,
table, so
nice. So,
yeah.
are you going to be working any of the tables this year? Or are you just going for the to be there and see everything?
I don't know 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I've been helping out a bit with the Andersons at the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of shows. And I said, hey, you want some help on, Saturday or something at
Mm-hmm.
DC? And they said, well, I don't know. Usually our friend Steph comes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me know. I'll be there.
Yeah.
So if they need somebody to sell ink or whatever,
Cool.
I know a thing or two about ink.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat at the moment. I'm obviously I've talked about this a lot, but I lost my job back in at the end of March, and I
yeah,
still don't have one. So if I end up making it to DC, it may only be to go work for someone else, because that's a very expensive trip for me to have to fly all the way from Seattle and stay in the hotel for 5 days and find a place for the dog to stay while I'm gone and all that kind of stuff. So it ends up being
yeah,
a pretty expensive trip. So
yeah. We're lucky to have family in the area, and
oh,
it's only
that's
about a
nice.
5 or 6 hour drive. So
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah,
cool. Well, my next currently inked is this little pen here. This is, of course, the Sailor Pro Gear. I have generally not been a huge fan of Sailor pens. This is the pen that I I did a review of, and accidentally, as I was cleaning it to pack. Oh, looks like we've got one over on the other side too. As I was cleaning this pen to pack it up and send it back to its owner, I dropped it nib first on the hardwood floor. And this was a pen that had been purchased from nibs.com and had been adjusted by John Madashaw before he sent it out. And so, this was like, crap. So I had
now
to
it's
buy.
been adjusted by Matt Armstrong before you sent it out.
Well, yeah. So I felt like I had to buy him a new one, since he had bought it and had it sent directly to me. He had never even seen the pen yet. I was like, oh no, it came like that. No. So I tried to fix it, and then I took it to DC last year and set it in front of Mike Masayama, and I said, I'm sorry, sir, but I tried to fix this pen. And he he got out his loop and took a look at the nib, and then just looked over his glasses at me and said, it's not as easy as it looks, is it? No, sir. I'm sorry, sir. An older boy told me to do it, sir. So, yes. So yeah, that's so I've got this inked up. He ground it into just the most luscious. It's probably a broad cursive italic. Just the most gorgeous, smooth, buttery nib. And I was mistaken. The Schaefer that I talked about earlier was not dandyism. That was not marked down in my book. I didn't write down what it is. Bad Matt. Yeah, I don't remember what I put in here. So the dandyism, the Sailor dandyism, is in the Sailor Pro Gear. It's a nice pen. It's a little small for me. I can't write with it if it's not posted.
Yeah.
But the Sailor nibs, now that I understand that they are very feedbacky, they're starting to grow on me a little bit more. It took a while for me to get used to that, but now that I have, I'm starting to like it a lot more.
Hmm.
So, all right, well, let's do one more each of these, and so let's see what you got coming up next.
One more? Well, this is another one I actually just got as well. Came in that same package with the M800, and it's a Platinum 3776 with the music nib.
Oh, nice.
And both of these pins are crazy wet.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't had a Pelikan before, and I put the Pelikan, just the regular, what is it, 4001 Pelikan Black in there, which has been almost too dry to use in every other pen. And in that Pelikan, it's perfect. So I can't imagine what that fire hose is going to be like. And it's a fine nib.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fire hose as anything else.
Yeah.
And then this one, what the heck did I put in this? I don't know. I scribbled on something. Oh, this is Yarda Lead Blue Black in
Oh,
this
cool.
this Sailor's Platinum. And that's another ink I've been a little bit on the fence about. It's hard to find Yarda Lead ink.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend here in the triangle, David Rezatarsky, who's got the biggest vanishing point collection on Earth probably, brought some Yardaled sepia to an ink swap, and I've been looking for that ink ever since, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't
Oh,
think they
yeah.
make it anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, Yarda is a brand I know next to nothing about. I've never used their pens. I've never even seen their inks.
Yeah.
It's one of those brands. I've had people ask me to review them, but from what I understand, they tend to be a little on the pricey side.
It just comes in these little bottles. It's nothing super fancy.
Mm-hmm.
The pins are really pretty expensive, and they're all sterling silver and chased and all this engraved and all this stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
They're very old timey, but the bottles are what is this, about 30 mils for $9. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
The blue black isn't. Of course, I can't find the sepia, so we'll never know.
Well, I think my final pen is the Tactile Turn Gist. So, do you have you been in? Oh, you've got one too here. So
yeah, I went for the Damascus on mine.
So yeah, I ordered the polycarbonate with the Damascus finial and section.
Yeah.
And with it, he also sent me a titanium one to review and do a giveaway for. So
Nice.
I think, I was a little unsure about all metal pens. I'm generally not a fan of metal pens, but I think I like the titanium one even better than the polycarb one. I really love that, the kind of thread finish that they've got on the pen.
Yeah.
It feels amazing on titanium. It felt a little unfinished to me on the polycarb version. But on titanium, man, it's just got the perfect weight, the perfect balance. I like it a bunch. So
I dream of a full Damascus one, but that would be crazy expensive.
No kidding. No kidding. No, I feel like this is a model where metal is actually the right material for this pen. I like the polycarb one, and it's great. I got the polycarb one with the titanium nib, which is super wet, and then he sent a steel nib on the titanium one. So I'll probably swap the nibs and keep this one, and then do a giveaway of the other one.
Nice.
But that's a few months off. We'll worry about that when it gets here. And I've got this inked with Papier Plume Forest Green. So are you familiar with those inks at all? The Papier Plume inks?
No. Who carries those? Is that a Van Ness?
Well,
do they have those?
So Papier Plume,
it's in Louisiana, right?
Yeah, it's a New Orleans based shop. It's their own in-house inks. Van Ness bought a few bottles of some of their colors at the show that they didn't want to take home with them. So I've tried 5 or 6 of them. A couple of them I'm not real thrilled about. Their sepia is just so unsaturated. It looks like a color wash, not like an ink.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like inks like that. The forest green's really nice. It's got, I'll see if I can show it here. It's got kind of a blue green.
Oh yeah.
Hint.
It's almost a turquoise.
The camera's picking it up a little more blue than it actually is. That's green. It's a little bit greener, but there is certainly a blue undertone to it. My favorite of theirs is the caramel. It's a lot like the KWZ honey, but a little bit richer. It's a beautiful, beautiful ink. And I think, let me see if I've got the caramel in here somewhere. I had it inked up at one point, but I can't find it. So, all right. Okay. Well, so remind everybody where they can find you online.
Yeah. So my blog website is www.inkdependence.com. Independence with a K. And then I'm online on YouTube at what is the darn thing? YouTube.com/
It's like /user/ whatever your name is.
Yeah, I think it's Michael Madison. I think it's just my full name. But if you go to YouTube and look for Inkdependence, you should be able to find the channel that way. Yeah,
I'm just checking it now. So
yeah. See if that works.
Madison. Ta-da! Except that's not you.
Really?
I don't think so, because there's no uploaded videos, and I'm pretty sure you didn't like a music video called "Life Will Come Back" by Crystal Meth. So just a
Let me see.
guess.
Let me see. Is a new. Let's view my thing as a new visitor. I think it's Michael Madison. Matteson is how you spell the name. I've been trying to figure out how to get them to give me the slash user slash Inkdependence, but uh, I may not be able to get that. I don't want to start a whole new channel.
Oh,
With,
it's youtube.com/user/my darn snake legs.
really, I
Each
told
one
them to change that. Well,
capitalized.
anyway,
So yeah, just go to YouTube and search for Michael Matteson, Matteson, and you'll be able to find him over there.
yeah. So that's terrible branding, and the way that happened was I didn't actually intend to have a YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
I was actually just using it as a place to store the videos for my blog, which is hosted on Blogger.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just a place where videos were. And then I found out that there were people, I actually had more subscribers to the YouTube channel than I do, listed subscribers to the blog. Not that that means anything. I don't think anybody actually uses that follow button at all. But, and then so I started actually using the YouTube channel a bit too.
Yeah.
So yeah, terrible branding, and I don't know if I can change it. It's just maybe permanent.
There is a way, but YouTube does not make it easy. It's like they've hidden their settings. It took me, when I first started the pen habit, it took me probably 3 months to figure out how to set everything. And there's a logo that shows up associated with my name that is completely wrong. I've changed it everywhere I can find to change it, but it just never updates. So, I consider myself fairly technically inclined. I mean, for crying out loud, I work as a software program manager. I help design this kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
they've just buried it. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Mike. I just about called you Matt.
It happens all the time. It's a perfectly good name.
I appreciate it, and make sure everyone go visit his blog and YouTube channel. And we will see you here soon on another episode of Currently Inked. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, thanks to our sponsor, Van Ness Pens. Have a good one.